The day I got dumped, I accidentally cried in front of our class monitor, and unfortunately, he never let me forget it. It happened behind the school building during lunch break. My boyfriend and I had just argued over the phone, and 5 minutes later, he sent me a message saying, "Maybe we should stop here." 3 years together ended with one text. Honestly, I wasn't even crying because I still loved him that much. I think I was mostly embarrassed. Everyone at school knew we were dating, and now everyone would know I got dumped first. So, yes, I cried. A lot. And of course, the one person who saw everything was Ethan Lee, our class monitor. Perfect timing. When I looked up and saw him standing there holding a stack of papers, I genuinely wanted to disappear from this earth. For a few awkward seconds, neither of us spoke. Then he quietly walked over and handed me a pack of tissues. "Thanks," I muttered awkwardly. "You cried on your math homework too," he said calmly. I froze immediately. "What?" He looked down at the worksheet in my hands. There was literally a tear stain across yesterday's homework. I wanted to die again. Meanwhile, Ethan still looked completely calm, like watching girls cry behind school buildings was part of his daily routine. "You should probably rewrite that," he added. I stared at him in disbelief. "Are you seriously talking about homework right now?" "Yes." "This is why nobody likes you." "That's not true." "You didn't even deny it immediately." Wow. For the first time, I saw the corner of his lips lift slightly. A tiny smile, and annoyingly enough, he looked kind of handsome when he smiled. After that day, Ethan started appearing around me way too often. Every morning, there would suddenly be warm milk on my desk. Whenever teachers assigned group projects, somehow we always ended up together. And every time my ex-boyfriend tried talking to me again, Ethan would magically appear beside me like some terrifying ghost. At first, I thought I was imagining things, until one afternoon during PE class. I was sitting under a tree scrolling through my phone when my ex suddenly walked over. "Can we talk?" Before I could answer, someone sat down beside me. Ethan. Still holding a basketball in one hand, still looking calm as usual. My ex immediately looked uncomfortable. "I wanted to talk to her alone." Ethan nodded casually. "Then talk." "But you're sitting here." "Yes." Silence. I nearly choked, trying not to laugh. My ex clearly looked annoyed now, but Ethan calmly opened his water bottle like he had absolutely no intention of leaving. In the end, my ex gave up and walked away looking irritated. The moment he disappeared, I turned toward Ethan immediately. "Did you do that on purpose?" "What?" "The scary bodyguard thing." "I have no idea what you're talking about." "You literally stared at him like you wanted to bury him alive." "That's just my face." I burst out laughing instantly. Ethan looked at me quietly for a moment before speaking again. "At least you're smiling now." For some reason, my heart skipped a beat. Which was bad, very bad. Because Ethan Lee was absolutely not my type. He was too calm, too serious, too responsible. The type of person who reminded teachers about homework. Terrifying. That was why I started calling him Michelin Boy in my head instead. Because one day, he came to school wearing a huge white puffer jacket and somehow looked exactly like the Michelin mascot. Tall, round, and weirdly intimidating. Unfortunately, I accidentally said it out loud once. "Morning, Michelin Boy?" The entire classroom went silent. Ethan slowly looked up from his book while I stopped breathing immediately. "Oh my God," my friend whispered beside me, "you're dead." But Ethan only stared at me for 2 seconds before replying calmly, "Morning." That was all. No anger, no reaction. Which honestly felt even scarier. After that, the nickname somehow stuck, and the weirdest part was that he actually responded to it. One rainy afternoon, I forgot my umbrella again and got stuck outside the school gate while everyone else rushed home. I stood there staring dramatically at the rain like the main character of a sad movie until an umbrella appeared above my head. I already knew who it was before turning around. You forget your umbrella too often, Ethan said calmly. You appear beside me too often. Fair point. I blinked in surprise. Wait, did the class monitor just make a joke? We started walking home together slowly under the rain, while cars passed by quietly beside us. The streetlights reflected softly on the wet road, and for some reason, neither of us wanted to break the silence. Then suddenly, Ethan spoke. Do you still like him? I knew he meant my ex-boyfriend. I looked down for a moment before shaking my head slowly. No, I admitted softly. I think I just hated being left behind. Ethan stayed quiet for a few seconds before finally saying he didn't leave behind anything important. I turned toward him immediately. What? Ethan looked away slightly, almost awkwardly. Nothing. But his ears were bright red. And suddenly, for the first time since my breakup, I felt my heart beating again. Not because of my ex, but because of the boy quietly walking beside me under the rain.